could we possibly do with the house all alone to ourselves for the rest of the night?
There's people in our house.
You're in our house and we want you out now.
Hold on now. Why don't you come in and we can work this whole thing out?
My wife, where's my wife?
Can't help you. Please stop. We'll see.
Boom, there you go. That was a trailer for The Hive, available right now, y'all. You're going to want to check it out. It's on digital video on demand, on Prime Video, Vudu, Ubiquity, Cox, and Comcast. I'm Kuya, Nerds Rule the World. And as you see on the screen, to talk all things The Hive, I have the writer-director Jared Allmond, as well as producer-star Timothy Haug. I'm sorry if I brutalized the names. Is it Haug? I'm not sure. I'm sorry, Timothy.
Haug.
Awesome. Well, it is a pleasure to talk to you guys. My apologies for messing up your name, Timothy. Jared.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for your time as a indie filmmaker as well, beyond celebrating the film industry through these interviews that I do, talking to other creatives. I want to give you mad props because I know how hard it is to put all this work in and get it out to the people. And so kudos, bravo, and distribution. You're getting it all out there. So congrats. And that's always great when you're trying to do more projects, getting eyes on the work to continue and having fun in this industry of ours. So again, thank you both for your time. Let's talk about The Hive. Where did this germ of an idea start? And the light bulb, came off, and I was like, okay, this is an amazing idea. I got to put fingers to keyboard or pen to pad and get to work. If I can start with you, Jared.
Yeah, so the idea kind of built itself out of Tim and I being kind of, I guess, just like bored and unfulfilled in 2020, towards the end of 2020. People are sitting around not really doing much of anything, and we got the idea like, hey, let's do something. Let's use this opportunity to build something our own. And excuse me, and. So with that idea, with knowing that we wanted to construct something with what we had, with whatever resources we had, and truly make an indie film, we decided to center it in a home, because it's one location, and that makes things pretty easy in that regard. So then from there, we decided to make it about a couple who's having a failing relationship, and from there, the ideas just kind of grew. As I say, we don't have a big studio looming over us or anything like that. We don't have executives or people funding it that are trying to tell us how to operate and what stuff to write or what genres to make or what tropes we have to fit into and all that stuff. So we took that little seed of making it in one location at a house about a couple, and just started building on top of that and doing whatever we felt was going to be fun. So that's how this came out.
I love it. Timothy, if you can add to that, throwing back and forth ideas with Jared, what was that like for you?
It was great. Jared and I had previously worked together. He cast me in one of his movies a couple years ago. And from then on, we liked working with each other, and it was inevitable that we were going to do something else. And it was just perfect timing. He had this idea. I said, okay, yeah. During that time, I was like, I want to do something, because I was auditioning for a lot of stuff, and a lot of people who were getting the roles I was going out for were name actors, big name actors. So I was like, no, I need to do something myself too. And so he said, I have this idea. You could be this character. And then I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds pretty good. And we started bouncing ideas, and it developed more. And then, he wrote this very quickly. Basically, we got an outline, and then he wrote it very quickly, and we went straight into casting, and we're like, we're doing this. And during that time, people weren't working really. So, and if they were working, very rare, especially if you're not like in one of those super big high budget projects. And so that's kind of how it developed. And the special thing for me was that, like you said about independent film, this was just two guys that came up with this idea, and we're like, we're going to go do this. And we didn't wait for funding. We didn't have a big investor, no studio, no small studio, just two guys that put all their money into it. And we're like, let's go.
Let's make it happen. So with that, you have the freedom of doing what you want. Was this kind of a theme something you've always wanted to do, Jared? And for you, Tim, as an actor, what you wanted to portray.
One thing that I did focus on was not trying to pigeonhole the whole thing into one genre.
Okay.
Right. We didn't want to do that. So for me, that was a kind of a fun process to be able to just let the story build itself into what it wanted to be, rather than say, hey, we have to make a drama, or hey, we have to make a horror. It's just straight up horror or a straight up thriller. It was fun to just construct it naturally and kind of organically into what it ended up being.
Awesome. And for you, Timothy, this being like your first, project where you're producing it, you're starring in it as well. Was there any challenges for you to really show everybody, your talent? How was this? How did you prepare for this to kind of showcase yourself in a way as well?
Well, it's definitely double the work because you have a lot more responsibilities, but honestly, I would just say not caring. And that's a really important thing, is just doing what you know or what you think is right to give to the project. And I think once you go down the rabbit hole of, I have to showcase my talent, I have to show people all that I can do, I think that's a sticky situation, because basically it's just staying true to how you feel about the project and what you want to do, and hopefully that shines. And I think one of the things that shows that is how the relationship is in the movie. And I've already said this before, but everyone's hoping for the normal Hollywood, oh, we're in love, and oh my God, this happened, we're out of love, and then oh, this happens again and we're back in love. And they want the normal Hollywood, relationship and how the characters develop. And in this, it was definitely put in realism, because it's super realistic. These people have had a troubled relationship. Nothing's been going right for a long time. They have so many things that could hold the relationship together, kids, family. But where's the relationship now? And we went that route instead of saying, oh, they have to, show that they're in love.
Yeah.
We were more in let's keep this relationship real and just give little glimmers of hope. So during the movie, there would be just a little glimmer of hope. And then you're like, nah. And then little glimmer of hope, no. And we're just trying to show really what is a true failing relationship.
Yeah.
And that's what came out of it.
I like that. I like that. Just it gives so much more realism because things are so cookie cutter in Hollywood and just that stereotypical stuff. We all know as real people that things are so much different in real life. So I adore that. So let's talk. I'm as a film creative, I love getting these behind the scenes. How it takes to get a project off the ground. With this being an independent film, you guys, putting your heart and soul together in this. Tell me, pre-pro casting this, if we can show some light and love to your beautiful cast and crew, although how small it is because it's indie, as you all stated as well. Just what it was like putting the people together, getting everybody together, locations. What was that learning experience like? If I can throw it back to you, Jared.
Yeah. So in the writing process, I had people in mind for each character that I knew would do well with these characters, right? So I'm writing it this whole time, for however long it took, thinking, all right, this is going to be Julianne Ruck. This is going to be Miles Tabor. This is going to be Tim. I had these people in mind, right? And hadn't asked them if they were willing to do it until after, Tim and I were like, all right, let's go for it. Right. So I was really lucky to, when I did approach everyone afterward, they were like, yeah, I'm on board. And, that I think for me is 90% of the battle, because these people that we worked with, these amazing, talented artists, they get it, all it takes is a few couple little words or a little note here and there, and it's what you see on the screen. They're that good. So I give major kudos to the whole cast for that. The only thing was we didn't have who we wanted to cast for Penny, for the main girl. That was going to take a little bit more intricacy. So we had this like really quick but intense casting process where we went through over 1,000 people to boil it down to Christy, who we all see has done an amazing job. So as far as casting goes, it was such a beautiful experience from start to finish. As far as the location and locations, I've always wanted to capture, for a while now, I've wanted to capture this neighborhood, whether it was, for this story or for something else. There's this beautiful neighborhood here in Southern California in Santa Ana, and that's where we had the housing locations and the parks and the ravine, and so we got every location we wanted. That was another really great experience. A lot of stuff just fell into line, kind of miraculously, I would say, in those regards. So I hope that answers your question.
Oh yeah, no, it's always great getting the perspective, and for you, Timothy, from your side, you're starring in it as well as you're one of the producers on this. To have that hand working with Jared to make this all come together, what was that like for you? And did you have any chemistry reads with the people you would be working with to like and how that would flow and build out? How was that for you?
Well, everything moved so fastly. I would say just a lot of, trust between me and Jared. Jared was like, these people. I was like, okay, because, me and Jared funded the movie together. So it's like, if someone's putting their money up, I'm gonna trust them, especially if I already know them. But, I was like, okay, yeah, you got this. But I didn't really realize it till we were on set. And then I started seeing or being in scenes with the people that he had chosen. And I was like, okay, great casting, Jared. If you watch this movie and you watch The Strange Man and the Strange Woman, there's been a lot of comments about it. There's been people that are like, this is super weird. These people talk so crazy, like funny, like what's going on? That's exactly what we wanted. Like, okay. They're supposed to be out of this, and that's the way that it was written. But anyways, that it was just a beautiful process working with those people. And then also Penny, it was just great because Jared and I cast her together. There were no chemistry reads or anything. The idea kind of behind that is how the relationship is in the movie. If we were basing it on realism, it didn't really matter to us because how we pictured the relationship.
Gotcha.
We didn't want there to be, we actually didn't want there to be a palpable chemistry. You know, we didn't want it to be this thing where it's like, oh, you know, they look like they're completely in love, right? There had to be that little bit of weirdness. So they definitely nailed that there.
Gotcha. So that's the intention and how you want it to come across. Now I feel that, and just trusting who you put together from the onset to deliver. I understand that wholeheartedly, especially in independent film. All right, so you're making this project. Tell me about, you know, actual in production type stuff. Did anything change from the script? And what kind of experience was that for you, Jared? You know, now, you know, y'all put money up. You know, everybody's got delivered, come ready, you know, on set. You know, how long did it take to make this whole film? And what was it like just, you know, getting it all together, getting people, you know, ready and to go when it was time to go for you, Jared?
Yeah, so as I said before, we, you know, luckily got all the people we wanted to shoot this thing with as far as cast goes. So I would have conversations with them up to a few weeks before we started shooting, you know, maybe every other day or something, talking with each character, you know, giving inspiration for the characters and motivations and stuff like that. And again, these are very talented people that we worked with on this. So, you know, all it took was just a little bit of massaging once we got on set for it just to come out perfect. And then it was 12 days of principal photography. So we, yeah, just to give one last thought on that is you're absolutely correct. Everything is on the go. You're learning as you go how to navigate through the world of making the movie, right? So, yeah, we definitely had multiple things in the script that once we got down to it, it's like, you know, we just can't do it because, you know, we're out of budget or, you know, something fell through, or like we had characters that were in the story. For instance, like we had an officer character, and just to make the story short, this police officer would have required us to have multiple other real police officers on set for multiple days with us paying for their overtime, and that just wasn't going to happen. So we had to write out characters and put their lines in with other characters and stuff like that on the day sometimes, just bunch of little things like that we had to navigate through.
All right.
Tim?
Yeah, I think it's hard because of budget reasons. Obviously, especially when two individuals are putting their money up, you're always debating what's worth it, what's not, and how much do you want to put up for certain things. And it's really hard to find good people to do things you want for the price you want. And so obviously there was a lot dealing with that, with post-production. And if you haven't worked with a lot of people in a certain field, so for example, if you haven't worked with a colorist or an editor, or if you haven't worked with a sound design or a composer, and you're searching for new people to do it, I would say that's a lot more difficult than if you've already done projects and you're like, oh, I want to continue working with this guy. You already have it set up. So I think, like, as far as advice for indie filmmakers would be organized and have that in mind before it even happens. And that'll save you time and hopefully money in the long run. And one thing that I made sure that we did, that I learned from previous stuff I've done, is I really wanted a poster and a trailer before the movie was finished. And we were using the poster and trailer to pitch it beforehand. So we were already pitching this movie to distributors before the movie was even finished.
Wow.
which is actually kind of funny. But I previously worked with someone who had connection to another indie project that had a really good poster. And I'm not going to say any names, obviously, but let's just say that while I was watching it, I almost fell asleep because it didn't have anything going on for like 50 minutes into the movie.
Mm.
But their poster was so good. And like I said, I'm not going to say any names, but that kind of showed me, and they got a distribution deal.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, we got something here. And their trailer was okay. And so I was like, we need to do those, and this will set us up for success. The thing that I say we didn't do is we didn't prepare a lot for like budgeting to run ads for release. Like everyone has this thing in their mind where it's like, oh, I'm gonna get a distribution deal. I'm gonna work with a sales agent or whatever, and then it's all gonna work out, and they're gonna promote it, and they're going to do the advertising, and that's not how it works. And so if you really want to have the best chance for success, especially with projects like this, I would set aside money to be able to do that, which we didn't really. I mean, we threw out some stuff when we needed to do it to go a little above and beyond of where we might have gone. But it's not like we just sat all this money, to the side and we're like, oh, we're going to, on release, we're going to run ads and we're going to promote it here and do that. That's not how it was. But in the future, on the next project, I would definitely keep that in mind, because, I mean, you're your biggest chance for success. No one else is going to care for your project, especially indie film like this, as much as you do. So to be able to put yourself in the best position possible.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah. Every project should be a lesson. I still feel like I'm still a student, and I think we should always be students, because every project is different. There's always something new. There's always a twist and turn, and technology now is ever changing, as we all know. And also a fear of mine as an actor as well. That's that, pay your actors, y'all. AI, I'm so scared of AI. But anyway, again, y'all, the HIVE is available right now. Go check it out. Once you're done watching this interview, it's everywhere. Prime Video, Vudu, Vubiquity, Cox, Comcast. I got Tim and I got Jared talking all about this. Can I say one more thing? Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing. I would say the major thing about this movie is, like you talking about the actors, obviously correlating with the actors strike and everything. I would say the biggest thing about this movie is it's truly indie, and all the people talking about supporting the smaller guy, like, even if our poster looks cool, and the movie looks like, if it looks like a higher budget, like, this is truly indie. This is just two guys. We're like, hey, we have this money. We take the risk and put all our money into this project. This is what you should be thinking indie film is. Indie film is not, oh, I only have this investor that'll give me, $3 million, and, maybe we can get, Morgan Freeman on the movie. Like, for me, that's not like a truly independent movie. And so for all the people like that care about the little guy, I would say this is a champion project for indie film. And I think the industry needs way more of it, and especially people that do it and can achieve high quality. But anyway.
That. All right. Yeah, there you go. Timothy Haug, producer, star, writer, director Jared Allmond. I'm happy that you guys got this out there. I know how it is. I've been through that struggle. That's what also finds me behind the camera talking to you guys, because in between projects, I need to, keep my inspiration going. So thank you for feeding me your vibes of inspiration, because like, I can't wait to start working on that next one as well.
Looking forward to seeing your work.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Jared Allmond, Timothy Haug. It is a pleasure to chat with you guys. I again congratulate you guys on getting it out there. Everybody, go check out the HIVE. Support indie projects, support indie films, and these amazing creatives as well. It was a pleasure chatting with you guys. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World.